Welcome to The Riff, brought to you by mytoronto.ca, where two internationally acclaimed artists, painter and animator Gary O'Brien and jazz fusion guitarist Jeremy Green, dig into Toronto's entertainment scene, where they'll be hanging out with all sorts of creative minds, from music, comedy, sports, theater, and everything that lurks in between, with a special spotlight on our foodie culture.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Riff. We have another episode today, and my name is Gary O'Brien, your host, and along with me is my co-host, Jeremy Green.
That's me.
Jeremy, what have you seen? What have you done? What have you heard? What's going on with you?
I had a bit of a funny interaction this week that I think you'll like, and I actually need your help with this because I'm trying to understand how to cope with it. So I'm walking along the street. I think it was Yonge Street, walking down, and there's this poor homeless dude, and he's not well. Like, he's not well at all. Like, he didn't know where he was. He's all confused. And so he's looked all stressed out. And these people are walking by. This woman walks by in a big purple coat, and he goes, purple coat, purple coat. And then this other guy goes by, and he's got a briefcase. And then another woman goes by, green hat. And then I walk by, and he goes, big nose. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm trying to figure out how offended I should be that's the most prominent thing of my entire world.
It's nice to be noticed.
Is it there?
I don't know. I wouldn't say big nose for the first thing to
Hey, man, this is coming from the homeless. They know.
Well,
he's seen a lot of noses, dude. Like, I'm up there.
It's more like Captain Obvious, I guess. Green shirt, purple.
No, I thought he'd say like black pants or something.
Yeah, but
big nose.
You don't want to be obvious about the nose. But I don't know. Anyway, I wouldn't really. That would not be the first thing to come to mind.
Well, thank you for that.
I would say, I don't know, what
tall guy, maybe?
Fantastic hair. How about that? Wait, what, something like that? Let me talk to that homeless guy. Yeah. I gotta have a word with him.
So, yeah, that was my little fun this week.
Lots of conditioner. A rinse and repeat kind of guy. How's that?
Yeah.
From the guy with no hair.
I was going to say, you got the hair. Yeah. I'm actually jealous of you.
All right. Okay. We have I'm very excited for this show. We've got a very exciting show today. We should kind of move along here with our bio of who we have as our guest today. We'll put the homeless guy aside for now. And we'll move on. Okay. Today, we have a Juno Award-winning Toronto-born electric bassist and one of Canada's most versatile and in-demand musicians, known for his fearless artistry across jazz, world music, R&B, and contemporary improvisation. A composer, producer, bandleader, educator, and broadcaster, he has released 4 acclaimed albums as a leader, including the Juno Award-nominated Abang and his latest, Naiba. As a sideman, he has performed with artists such as Steve Coleman, Bruce Coburn, The Parachute Club, Kim Mitchell, and David Clayton Thomas. He leads 3 projects, Rinse the Algorithm, The Abang, and Earthheart, and is a member of the Juno Award-winning Jeremy Ledbetter Trio. An influential educator, he has taught at Humber College, the University of Toronto, and the renowned Scott Space Lessons. He also runs his own popular YouTube channel, The Brownstone, and hosts New Origins on Jazz FM 91, airing at Tuesdays at 10 p.m., Our guest today is Rich Brown. Rich, welcome to The Riff.
Thank you for having me.
That's a mouthful. You're an accomplished guy.
I was like, who is that guy? I'm exhausted.
I want to meet that dude.
I got to work on my resume, man.
Well, I mean, lately I'm just like on Yonge Street observing people, but like...
Blue shirt.
Blue shirt. Yeah. Bass player.
So that was you. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That was so funny.
Wow. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Things are unbelievably good right now.
Excellent.
The new album's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Must be super excited about that.
I'm really excited about it. The vinyl is on its way.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And the reviews are coming in, and everything has been super positive and very supportive. And people are connecting to this music on an emotional level, which really means a lot.
Good.
So, yeah, it's been really amazing.
Okay. Well, before we get to the latest, let's step back in time. Let's rewind here. And I know that the two of you have quite a history here in terms of your friendship. I'll hand it over to you guys to sort of maybe explain or how that kind of came around.
All right, so it's been a long time, so I kind of want to go through the genesis of this with you to just make sure that my 50-year-old brain isn't like screwing this up.
I can't wait to hear this.
I've never heard your side of it either, so that's kind of funny. So when I was in high school, we were about 16 or so. So a good couple of friends of ours used to play, and they kind of, I don't want to say they weren't good players, but they weren't good players. They were just having fun, loving jam, and doing all that stuff. And so the drummer is a really good friend of mine. He reaches out and he said, "Can you just come and jam so that we can get all the way through a song? Because we can't do it." So I'm like, "Yeah, sure," because they're great guys. And so it was fun. I love playing anyway. So it was like, let's go. So I went. So I used to go to these jam sessions with these guys periodically just for fun. And then one day he's talking to me and he says, I got another guy coming out to jam. And I'm like, I didn't expect anything, to be honest. I just thought it would be just another hack around guy. And then in walks this cat right here with a red Stratocaster. I can neither confirm nor deny the presence of Jerry curls, but man, it was the 80s, dude. It was the 80s.
The guy with the hair. Right? He's like, he thinks he can get away with stuff.
Good Lord.
I may have had like those pull-around pants on at the time. So anyway, none of it was good for any of us.
Jerry curls. God, so.
But what I remember the most is one, the incredible smile, which he still has, and number two, the Stevie.
Great smile. Maybe that's what you get known for. There you go. Yeah.
The incredible Stevie Ray Vaughan that he was ripping. The dude was just, I was like standing there mesmerized going, oh my God, he is killing this Stevie Ray. Like, and so we both started playing and we were kind of mutually just going, oh, another player. We could both play and it was really cool. What was your perspective on that?
I remember talking to a few people in school and wondering if there were any musicians. And I kept hearing your name. And there was another guitar player. I can't remember his last name, but his first name was Chris. Do you remember this cat?
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to get the last name.
But I kept hearing about the two of y'all. And then finally it came down to that situation where I was invited to this jam and I came out and I was all about Stevie Ray Vaughan. Like that was, and I don't even know if I'd been playing bass for too long or at all at that point.
I don't think you played at all at that point.
Yeah, I don't think, because I didn't start playing bass until I was like 17, 18.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I do remember that jam and I remember, I don't know if it was you or one of the other guys that like started calling me Richie Ray.
I think that was Jimbo.
Yeah, it was Jim.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that jam, and I remember just like we connected immediately.
Instantly, yeah. It was just like, oh man, this is now fun. I was like, oh,
cool.
And you know what I love about that? Looking back, it's like the two of us, and I don't mean any disrespect to the other guys, but like we were well further down the road than they were as musicians. And it's like no two guys at our level would have gone and done that at that point in time. Right. We were all trying to be better. We were all trying to move forward. But the fact that we both loved playing so much connected us instantly. It's like I was just happy to plug in and turn it up. I would have jammed with anyone at that point.
Yeah.
And to see you with the exact same mindset, it was like you knew it was going to be a train wreck when you went, but you just wanted to play.
I just wanted to play. Yeah. I just wanted to get out of my basement and like do something for real, you know?
So so let's move on from that. So that was our initial thing. We got a ton to cover, so I'm kind of want to skip through this. But so then the next thing, so it's funny. So then fast forward a little bit, we always stayed in touch and Rich started playing the bass. And I used to go over to his house with his beautiful mom who always treated me like a son. And he was playing the bass. And I remember we had a conversation one day and like, I'm listening to him. I'm just going, oh my God. Like I said, Rich, I don't even remember this, but I said, dude, you are a great guitar player, but you are an absolutely astounding bass player.
I do remember you saying that. I remember that.
Yeah. I was stunned by how, because you're a great guitar player. To this day, you can still shred. This guy's amazing on a guitar, man. Mm-hmm. But your bass playing is out of this world. Like you're a special, special bass player. So anyway, I was in a band doing a bunch of really prog rock stuff, a bunch of Yes and Genesis and Rush and Max Webster and really pretty advanced bass stuff. And my brother was the bass player at the time. He had an issue with the drummer and he quit. And I'm thinking, I don't know any other bass players who can do this. And then I'm like, yes, I do. So I go over to his place and go down to the basement. And we were hanging out, we were talking. I'm like, dude, come out and do this. And he's like totally not into that music at all. He's like, did you even enjoy that?
I did. You know what? I really did.
Yeah.
And I have to credit you because, now I'm playing this music. Like I've been in Steve Coleman's band for the last four years. But I think my grasp on that music came from you introducing me to like all the prog rock with all the, so-called odd time signatures and like, me sitting down and learning all those Rush tunes.
King Crimson.
That was kind of like a primer for me to like, go into this for real. And
I think I owe you a bit of an apology here from way back when. So we were talking before on air here, we were talking about how I would go to the jam rooms, got invited to watch you guys, the two of you, jam in that band. And there was a point where you guys are playing Red Barchetta by Rush.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And being a big Rush fan, I'm like, oh my God, I'm excited for the Rush tones, right? And then at the end of this song, like you were kind of, I think still kind of...
You had just learned the tune, but you didn't know the tune.
And Jeremy is giving you the nods to say that dun 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 dun, like the ending of Red Barchetta.
Like, yeah. The shots,
right? Right, and hitting the two notes, one note, two note, three note, that kind of thing, right? And I'm looking around, I'm the fly on the wall observing everything. This guy doesn't know Red Barchetta? Who's it? How come this guy doesn't know Red Barchetta? It's Rush. How does he not know Rush? How does this guy not know Red Barchetta? Right? And that's in my inner thoughts. I'm thinking that, right? And then obviously soon after that, I knew of you as your musical knowledge of beyond, like vast horizons of music, so way funny. Beyond just prog rock. So my apologies for the thoughts in my head going, how does this guy not know Red Barchetta? For crying out loud, right?
No apology necessary. I mean, I should have known Red Barchetta. The other thing I remember about that was like we did YYZ.
Yes.
And I remember playing that tune with y'all for the first time, and we got to those bass breaks.
Yep.
And I just played. And I don't know if it was you or Brian, but one of you guys stopped me and was like, no, you got to learn the breaks. You have to learn.
Got to learn it note for note.
You got to learn it note for note. I was like, what?
Well,
I thought he was just making it up. He's not making that up. Like, what?
Yeah. No, Rush fans, that was the thing. If you're doing a Rush thing, this guy's the biggest Rush fan.
You got to be bang on or you're not.
Man, I didn't realize that.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, this is music that I have to take seriously, and I can't, you can't half-step
It's a composition, front to back, like the whole thing, right? Which is kind of a weird way to do it.
That kind of blew my mind.
So where did you connect with the music then? Like, where does it go back to? Or what was that impression that kind of clued music or put music on your radar?
I remember all the way back to when I was like 2 years old, and my dad would always have music on in the house. Like the floor would constantly be littered with like 45s and old records.
Oh, yeah.
And
I just, that was my earliest memory of being...
I'm sure there was no scratches and pops on any of those.
Not until I got a hold of it. Because, a couple years later, I was like 4, maybe 5 years old, and I started, because the records would still be on the floor the next morning, and my dad would go to work. So I just started, learning how to use the stereo and like finding, he'd play some tune from the night before and I'd be like, oh, which tune was that? That was really good. And I would just go through all these records until I found them. But in that, I would also discover all the other music that he had, which was at that time mostly like, reggae from the 60s and 70s. But then the occasional like Stevie tune and I just thought I love this. I wasn't really sure of what it was, but I loved it, and the connection was established from that point on.
And then to turn it into you being a musician, to turn it into bass playing or guitar and then bass, you're furthering that love of music, I guess.
Yeah, I remember the moment. This is funny. I remember the moment when that happened. We lived in Florida for a little while, and I watched a lot of like MTV and a lot of music video shows, and I saw Van Halen's Unchained. I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
I saw Van Halen's Unchained video and I was like, I think that's what I want to do. These guys are having so much fun. They're jumping all over the stage. They're playing music. And they're making a lot of money. Like, you can do that? Like,
That is so awesome.
I want to do that.
I didn't know it was Van Halen.
It was Van Halen Unchained. Changed my life, man.
Wow.
You know, it's funny.
That's amazing. You can pinpoint it like that. That's
Totally.
amazing.
Like they were infectious though. Like a young Van Halen.
Dude.
Eddie was always smiling and running around, and they made it look like so fun.
I
party on stage.
Yeah, it was a party on stage, and I was like, if that's a job, that's the job I want.
That's the job I want. Absolutely, yeah.
Why not?
So let's jump into, that band was called Eclipse. We were doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, man.
And this is my great source of pride, is that I helped bring Rich from the basement to his first greasy bar, awful stage. And he literally has never come off them since then. So that was a big weird moment, right? Because he was in the basement. I'll step back to that. So I go to him and I said, Rich, I need you to be in this band. Like, the drummer's awesome. The people are great. It's a great hang. It's this stuff you don't really play, but you can do it no problem. It would be a ton of fun. He's like, I don't know, man. And then I'm like, just come. Let's do one jam. Just come. Just do it. And he's like, all right. So he comes out and immediately hit it off and fit right in. And it was like amazing. And like right away, he was like all in. But it was like, is that your memory?
Yeah,
of that
that's exactly my memory of it. It was so fun, and I jumped at the chance because, again, I was just in my basement, like by myself, playing along with cassettes.
Great.
So the opportunity to do this with like other actual musicians was like a godsend for me.
Yeah, it was truly great. And then that band slowly became its original band, Period of Denial, and we played like every major room and minor room all around this greasy place.
Fun.
And it was just a ton of fun. Just a great memory. It's fun to walk through that with you.
Man, I still think about those times and those gigs and like those rehearsals. And
I always think about the drives back. After the rehearsals, we're just in the car, the two of us, and we're just listening to like Schofield and Mike Stern and like just all these. He had all this fusion influence, and like we would just share tunes and shoot the breeze and do that young dream of music career.
but we, the other thing was like we would drive home from those rehearsals, and I was. You would take me back home. So, like, we'd sit in my driveway after the rehearsal for hours.
Just listening to
listening to tunes and, talking about music and, like, analyzing composition and things like that. We were in our 20s. We were, like, maybe 19, 20 years old at that time.
Super fun.
But we were getting into huge sort of philosophical conversations about music and composition and like
wow.
Yeah, it was
at an early age like
so
that. It's pretty
fun.
cool.
Like we connected, man, this dude, I got to tell you, like we connected on such a level, and I don't think I had that with anyone else. So I mean,
you're choking me up.
I feel it too. I do.
I feel like I owe a lot to Jeremy. I mean,
vice versa, man.
Well,
like that goes two ways. Yeah, we were both like those were very important for my development as a musician.
Absolutely.
Without that segment there, I would not be where I am today with it at all. Like, no chance.
100%.
Like that was like a college degree in just chilling and just picking stuff apart and all those questions. I could bounce anything off you and vice versa. We were like,
and the growth from that as a musician, the growth from that, like
and the
you're saying, all the philosophical chats and talks and after hours kind of thing. It's like that's all part of that growth of a musician, expanding and learning and like soaking it up. Not just always time at the instrument, but the stuff around that too.
I think that's super important, and I've said that to my students as well. Like some of the most important practicing you can do is without the instrument in your hand.
Yeah.
And
good point.
Really going over like the analysis of music and like trying to understand what it is that makes you connect with a certain piece of music, especially with instrumental music, which was what we were primarily doing. But what is it about instrumental music that makes you feel connected to it when there are no words, right?
Well, my early love of that, my grandfather was deaf in one ear, and he lived with us, and he was a massive classical music fan. Like every day for hours on end, he would play classical. but he'd crank it right up because he couldn't hear it.
Oh, right.
So I'd be in my bedroom clearly hearing all of his music because he would blast it, and I was not going to hang out with my parents. That was a buzzkill down there. So I stayed upstairs, or I'd go sit with Gramps, and I'd just sit we just listened to classical.
Amazing.
For years and years.
Soaking
My
it in.
entire childhood, it was classical music all the way up until.
Wow.
And my dad was really into Elvis Presley and a bunch of, like, my dad was a big music fan, like the Beach Boys and Elvis and Roy Orbison and all that. Like, we were the 8 tracks in the car. And
Yeah.
all that stuff. But it's like, but a lot of the instrumental stuff, there was the Walk Don't Run and stuff like that. Remember the Shadows or whatever what they call it? Yeah, like stuff like that where the instrumental stuff always appealed to me in a weird way. Like, I didn't need the voice to tell the story. I love voice. I love vocal music, but it's really nice to let your imagination fill in the story.
I love that. I love that aspect of music where you can like just listen to something that doesn't necessarily have text or like words involved.
Yeah.
And you can still feel the intent behind the composition.
People come back with totally different perspectives on what they took from it.
Yeah.
And I find that fascinating. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's not at all what I did. That wasn't my meaning as a composer, but it's like, that's what they took from it. And it's like, it's none of my business how they interpreted it. It's like, I'm always like, that's really cool.
That's really cool.
I
That's
find
really cool.
if music takes you to a place in your mind, if it makes you go there because what you're hearing, it connects with something off, some far off distant land.
Yes.
Or whatever. That to me is like, wow, like that's a powerful thing.
But it's your land, it's yours.
Yeah,
totally.
Everybody gets to do their own journey with it. That's what I love about it.
And in just a moment, we'll be right back. Let's get back to the show. Now, let's sort of fast forward here to present day with the new album. You got a new album coming out, right?
Yeah,
Or it's already out. Sorry.
Yeah, it's out. It was released on September the 26th. The album is called Naiba, and it has multiple sort of meanings. Like there's the musical aspect of it. The whole album is just the electric bass, and there are no other instruments and no other players.
That was a question I was going to ask. When I was listening to it, I'm like, is that a percussion instrument? I don't think it was. I was thinking, no, there's no way he would have done it.
Yeah.
This is all bass, I suspect.
It's 100% bass. Like at one point during the recording process, like the co-producer on the album is this amazing guitar player, composer named Elmer Ferrer. We recorded the album in his place. And at one point, we started to incorporate some different instruments. He was hearing like a guitar, and I threw the guitar track down on this one tune. And I was like, it doesn't... I mean, I really wanted this to be a solo album, and I wasn't really sure where it was going to go. But the more I got into the process, the more I realized that this was just going to be a bass record. And I was just going to try to make the bass sound like as many different instruments as possible, because that was always the point of ridicule towards me. Ever since I started playing 6-string electric bass, people were like, dude, you're not playing. I mean, you hear those things, Jock only needed
players on a 4.
What are you doing going above the 5th fret? Like, no, man, like... So I just thought I would, instead of getting mad and upset about that, I would just say, okay, well, maybe you're right. Let's see how many sounds I can get out of this thing.
Let's do this, yeah. But it's funny, your bass comes with wind chimes. Mine doesn't.
Or does it?
That sounded awesome. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
How does this differ then, this album here, compared to your past stuff?
Well, I think with every album, there is a different method and approach, and I guess there's a certain thing that I'm trying to achieve with each record. And with this one, it's all about the exploration of the instrument and, again, turning that into something that can connect with a listener on an emotional level. So, that's what I mean when I say that there are many sort of levels and different elements to the music on this album, because there's the technical, there's the emotional, there's the lore of this character, Naiba, and all of that is sort of encompassed in this neat little 8-song package,
I was a little proud, though, at the end of Caligala there, where it just was like King Crimson for a second.
You know what?
The very ending of that tune, I'm like, oh my God.
That's funny.
That's Fripp right there. Like, yeah.
That's so funny because another really great bass player, this guy Mike Downs, who's one of my favorite bass players in Toronto, he made the same observation. He said, that sounds like Robert Fripp. It sounds like a Fripp.
That's funny. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
and again,
you're welcome.
Same thing. Same thing. That wasn't my intention, but if that's what you guys are hearing, then 100%.
But it's just that moment that, Crimson used to do that all the time. They're just that do. Like there's just that moment when they ended a lot of songs like that.
Right.
And you ended that song that way, and it was totally called for to end it that way. It was funny to hear it, and I'm going, oh my God, that was like that. That came from there. I can feel it. It came from, there was in there somewhere.
That's so cool. Okay, yeah.
Because we played a lot of stuff.
I didn't know that.
Walk us through, can you let's go bass player nerd here for a second. So for the guys out there and people who want to do albums and stuff, can you walk us through your creative process of writing that stuff? Like, where does that come from? Is it a series of improvisations? Do you have a process? Is there no process? Just kind of help us see behind the wall.
Well, I think there were a number of different processes that were involved with the creation of this music. Like, some of this stuff happened on the road, where there were opportunities with different bands where each member of the band was given an unaccompanied solo over the course of the gig. So I started to explore a bunch of different ideas, and some of that stuff is on the album. There was also the pandemic that was a big part of the creation of this music, because during that time when we were all on lockdown, a couple of people reached out to me who were organizing like online at-home concerts, and I was invited on 2 different occasions to put together a set of music on my own. So I did a couple of these concerts, and then at the end of those, I thought, I'm kind of putting together a collection of songs that I should probably record at some point. So it came from there as well. And then the process, like getting to that point, just came from like exploration and practice. I feel like there's a very important part of my practice routine where I throw the agenda out the window and just try to create music on my own, and forget about licks and
just explore.
Just let the fingers roll. Yeah. And also compose. Like if I play a sound, I want to ask myself the question, what do I hear after this sound? And try to respond in kind, So I'm sort of sharpening my musical sense.
So let's grab that little moment there. So you're practicing, you're doing your thing. The grain comes. So now what? So you got the first little bit. What happens?
I work on that, and I try to hear what happens next, and then the composition sort of builds from there.
So do you stop and listen, or do you keep playing and trying to pull it?
Well, it can be a real sort of stop and start process where if I come up with an idea that I like, then maybe it's a matter of like playing that idea on repeat and then trying to build upon that in a way that makes sense to the previous part. So it's a bit of a ground up process of composition.
And one of the things I started doing a while ago that was very helpful was if I had that grain, you get that idea, is I'd record it and then leave a blank bar after it and set it on a loop.
Yeah.
And then so I'd be listening through it, and then when the silence came, I was trying to be really observant internally to see what am I feeling and hearing in this moment. And then that allows me to fill that next gap in there. And because sometimes, obviously you start doodling, you get the ADD thing, and you're just starting,
exactly.
Yeah.
So trying to eliminate that, the autopilot.
The autopilot, exactly, yeah.
And really just like playing from a very honest place.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Now, before we go too much further, you and Larnell worked together on Ledbetter and all that. Tell us about the Larnell genesis of Rinse the Algorithm, because I love that story. Wow. I love that story. He was a student, was he not? When you guys
he was a student at Humber College. I wasn't teaching at Humber at the time, but I had known about Larnell through different people, and I think he was 19 when we first played together, and I had seen him playing around in different jam situations, and I was like, this guy's astonishing.
Totally. Yeah. I was stunned when I first
Yeah.
He's like, I got this young drummer. You got to come check this out. And he's like, seriously, just come and watch this kid play. And I'm like,
Really?
I was floored. Yeah.
I was sort of in the process of putting my first band together, and I started writing these different tunes, and the tunes had, some challenging rhythmic structures, and it was the same kind of situation with you and I, where I knew that the stuff that I was writing wasn't necessarily Larnell's bag, but I also had enough confidence in him that, I knew he would pick up on these things quickly. So when I asked him to join, and I finally put the 4 musicians that made up Rinse the Algorithm together, like everything clicked, and my tunes sort of took on a life of their own. But yeah, I mean, my relationship with Larnell now, it's like it's almost subliminal, where I can look at him or he'll give me a look, and
you just know. Yeah, you can see it on stage. Like when you guys are
on the
together,
same page, eh?
They're the engine. Like Jeremy Ledbetter is incredible, but behind them, that engine, you two guys are like almost telekinesis stuff back and forth, like just literally a look, and they go boom, and they're just moving as a unit, and it's really fun to watch.
But that was also the beauty of Rinse the Algorithm, because I felt like I had the same sort of mind meld with all three of the members of that band, which made the gigs so much fun and so different all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to be a fanboy for a second. I miss that band. That was a cool band. That was a really exciting Toronto fusion moment, right?
Yeah.
There's not a ton of Toronto fusion moments. That was one of them, where it's like these 4 cats who are now like Robbie Botos, Luis Denise, and Larnell and Rich, and they were all established guys now, but at the time they were all young and young lions just roaring, and it was a lot of fun. Those gigs were pretty adventurous, and didn't know what was coming next.
Well, I didn't either. That was the beauty of it.
I know, and you could see you guys, that's the thing. You could see you guys on stage. You guys are up on stage, and you'd see just like all of a sudden everyone's head snaps around because something happened, and it's like, holy crap, and they just like
run with it.
And they were all such a high level that they could just react instantaneously to what they heard, and it was fun watching this group just kind of move around. And
I think that was the beauty of that band, is that like we on stage had the same sort of feeling as the audience members, because we were all fans of each other, right?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So we were, it was like we were on stage, but we were also in the audience as well, just like reacting to what was going on with what Robbie was doing or what Luis would do, or like, Larnell. Like, it was just so much fun and such a great energy that was reciprocal. It was a beautiful exchange between the audience and us on stage. Like, we could have played for days.
Oh yeah, you could see it too. Again, that's what made it so enjoyable to watch. It's just like, wow, it's kind of like watching a movie. You don't know what's coming next.
Yeah.
And twists and turns, and like even the stuff that was on the recording, like the recording was cool, but live it would often change channels in the middle. Like they would just like
that was very intentional.
One guy would do one thing, and then the whole thing would pivot, and all of a sudden it's going down that way instead of that way, and it's like, wow, that's really cool.
It's kind of like improv acting almost in a way, where an idea comes up, that's working, let's go with it.
That's exactly it.
And you're just different voices. That's all, musical
and it's
voices.
That same, you've done some improv like classes and stuff, and I know one of the rules comedians have is never say no.
Right.
When an
it's
idea,
yes and.
It's always yes. You always say yes, and that's the thing that these guys were doing too. There was no like, hey, that was weird. It was like there's a thing, and it was like yes, and they just all went. It like everybody moved as a unit, regardless of what happened. They would just go with it, and it was again, it was really, really fun to watch that go down. Like, so cool. I do miss that, but I understand those things run their time, and
Yeah, I mean, never say never. I mean, there's, I still think about that band and think that there might be some opportunities for us to play together again.
Yeah.
But,
now, before we get further, I missed one question I wanted to ask you. So your last solo bass album was Heaviness to Hear, and that was 2014?
2014, yeah.
Right? And those were awesome sessions, by the way. That was
so fun.
I took that cover picture.
Yeah, that picture. Actually, my first 2 albums. This guy.
The stupid thing is, though, that picture on the cover. So Richie was tracking at Rollins' place in the basement, and that first album was recorded there. And I had my iPhone, and he's out there just tuning out. He's just like playing for a second, and I literally grabbed my phone and I just went kablam. And I shot that photo. It's one of the nicest photos I've ever taken in my life, and it took 2 seconds.
It took 2 seconds. Not only that, but like the lighting of that photo was just Rollin with a flashlight over my head.
Yeah.
And that's how that picture turned out. It's like one of the. I used that as like a promo picture.
And
that was my headshot for years.
It's a killing photo.
It's a great picture.
Like, I'm not pumping my own tires here. It's like literally that photo is so cool. I'm like,
you captured a moment.
It captured the whole title and everything. That was just one of those magical moments where it's just like, bang, this thing happens in art sometimes. As you know, as an artist, every once in a while you stumble on a thing. Yeah. But yeah, those sessions. Anyway, that's not why I was
magical accident kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Why did I? No, that's not what I'm doing at all. But I'm saying before we get to that.
Yep.
Okay. The distance between that album and here is 11 years. Now, do you think about your placement of these solo bass albums as in a career arc, or do you just do them when they come, or is that planned?
Yeah, no, it's not planned at all. I feel like, and you hear this all the time. Every album is sort of a snapshot of what's going on during a particular moment in time. But I also want every album to be different. And, even though Between Heaviness and Here and Naiba are both solo bass albums, they're very different in their meaning and in their intent. And I'm just trying to go for different challenges with each album. If I were to go through all of them, like Rinse the Algorithm was about the sound of us four. And then Between Heaviness and Here was really about me exploring different sort of harmonic and melodic and compositional things, just using the bass. And then with the Abeng album, I was really just trying to challenge myself as a composer and play music that would kick my own behind. And then with this latest album, Naiba, I'm just really trying to explore the sonic possibilities of the electric bass. So there's always something that I'm trying to go for with each album, and I'm trying not to repeat myself with anything.
Which is super cool.
Yeah, and I already have an idea for the concept of the next album, and again, it's going to be completely different than the previous records.
Wow, very cool.
Interesting. I love the process. I'm very intrigued by other artists, how their approach, you know what I mean, and how they think.
Yeah.
To me, is interesting. Very interesting. We can't ignore the smell of this delicious food here. On the Riff, a portion of our show is tasting some of the variety foods that we have here in Toronto.
Awesome.
So here we are, and Tracy does like to feed us. So I'm going to hand it over to Tracy here. And Tracy, what are we eating today?
Okay, so this is Mary B. Kitchen. It's located in the Yonge St. Clair neighborhood. I chose Mary B. Kitchen today because its motto is whole food for the soul. So with Rich being a total foodie and also very health focused, I wanted to bring Mary B. Kitchen to the Riff table. So this kitchen does vegetables so well, and I can't believe I'm feeding 3 grown men Brussels sprouts. I don't know how that's going over right now. Oh, Rich just gave me a thumbs up. So,
We're not 7 years old anymore.
well, even carnivores rave about their sides. So you guys are having the roasted Brussels sprouts with glazed tamari, maple syrup, and whole grain mustard, and their grilled steak. And then after the show, we'll be feasting on their chicken and salsa verde, masala roasted cauliflower with cilantro, grilled avocados, and the kale red cabbage Caesar salad with smoky sunflower seeds. And for completely selfish reasons, I am bringing in their double Belgian dark chocolate tahini cookies. They're so decadent, and they're gluten and grain-free, surprisingly. So also a very cool backstory. The owner, Sarah Huggins, spent 10 years practicing law before focusing her passion on cooking and starting a food blog. And she opened this restaurant in 2017 in her own neighborhood, which makes sense why, if you go there, it feels like a true community hub. So, Rich, you know the city so well. Is this the first time you've had Mary B's Kitchen?
Yes.
And Jeremy,
He's too busy eating.
yeah, and I'll try to do some talking so you guys can keep chewing. So, and Jeremy and Gary, thoughts on the veggies?
Delicious.
I'm asking specifically Jeremy because
Yeah, I know. I'm not a Brussels sprouts guy.
No?
Yeah.
At all. No, I actually can't stand them at all.
Oh my God.
Those, however, were delicious.
They are good.
I actually would eat those, and I'm not just saying that. I would. Those
And
those
the,
were really nice. That
Beef was good too.
the flank steak,
That's
yeah.
very well done. The beef was phenomenal.
So you'll be diving more into
I'm
her
liking
stuff.
it. I would try that out. Yes, for sure. That's excellent.
Yeah,
And where is this? They're located.
Yeah, Young St. Clair area. So it's, you walk in there and it's really, really busy. And people may get, dissuaded to go there because, there's long lineups. But it's quick and fast and it moves really swiftly. And it's a very friendly, like I said, community sort of atmosphere restaurant. So, and very health conscious. And sometimes if you get restaurants that are very health conscious like that, they're mostly vegan. And these guys aren't. So I like that blend of, all the flavors and herbs and spices. And then also doing, a meat-centric portion of the menu as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm glad you all did you all like it?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yep.
What's your feedback on that?
I actually love Brussels sprouts. I buy them all the time.
Me too.
Yeah. I really do.
Those are Satan's cabbage. Man. Like,
Satan's cabbage. What I like to do with Brussels
balls of
sprouts,
evil.
I'll cut them in half and then I'll make a glaze. Excuse me. A simple glaze of like sesame seed oil, sesame oil, sriracha, and honey or maple syrup.
Ooh, spicy and sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
And then you
that?
roast them for
Yeah.
a little while, and they're just like, they're so good.
We do ours with like at Christmas time, whatever. We do the Brussels sprouts with like bits of bacon in there. Do some bacon and throw that in there and mix it all up. Yes, there's probably a bit of a glaze or something kind of in there too as well.
It's your arteries.
But
Bacon.
it's the bacon and the Brussels sprouts go together. Oh my God.
Yeah, really. Yeah, this is great. This is really good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yay. It's a
Thank you
win.
very much. That was great, Trey.
I'm never
More
leaving
Brussels
this
sprouts
place.
for Jeremy every night.
Oh yeah.
Hey, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so we were talking about Toronto and all that kind of thing and working within. But you have such a strong world influence in your compositions. Like, so what specifically initially drew you in that direction to kind of go more worldly?
I think I'm still chewing.
That's mine. Take your time. Take your time. We can cue the elevator music or something. Da, 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 we can do some shadow puppets on the wall here.
We have a huge budget here. On
Yeah,
the
exactly.
You know what? That came from living in this city, and I started sort of playing in the scene here in Toronto in '92, I think it was, and immediately I was introduced to all kinds of different world music, and I was playing in a band that was heavily influenced by a lot of Brazilian music, and then I was in another band that had some musicians from Ghana. I played a lot of Indian music. Like, there was such an amazing plethora of different styles. And I was so new to all of that stuff, but I was so fascinated by all of it as well because, in the Western world, we have this system of 12 notes. And I feel like every country has their own interpretation of those notes. Some of them involve more
notes.
than 12, yeah, or less. Some of them are just based on like pentatonic melodies, just 5 notes. But each culture is very distinct in their interpretation, and I love that.
And rhythmic.
Yeah, rhythmic, like you hear it and you almost immediately know where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Asian or Eastern European or wherever. And I've always been totally fascinated by that. So I've just been a student of that ever since, I was 22 years old.
Wow.
And I love that because, we are all the sum of our influences. So the more I learn from these different sort of disparate cultures, the more that amalgamation becomes a unique thing to me, because all of that stuff comes out in this one package that is my own playing.
Right. And all those influences has led to a Juno Award that has, to your credit now. Yeah. As he does his happy dance. Yeah. So tell us about that. So you won a Juno with the Jeremy Ledbetter Trio?
Yeah, the Jeremy Ledbetter Trio won the Juno Award this year for Best Album of the Year Solo in the jazz category.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was so surreal. I remember I was saying this to Jeremy earlier, but I didn't even remember the fact that we, were nominated. So I got a text the morning after the Junos. I wake up to this text, and it's Jeremy in all caps, Jeremy Ledbetter, all caps, saying, "We won." And I was like, "We won what? What did we?"
Wow, really?
And it took me a minute to clue in. It's like, no, the Juno? No, we didn't win. You must be talking about something else. Like
Crazy. The funny thing about that is, so I was on Instagram or something, and I follow Jeremy Ledbetter and Larnell and all that stuff. It was Larnell, and Larnell, so I'm scrolling by, and Larnell's like, won the Juno. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what he won it for. That says Jeremy Ledbetter Trio. And my first thought was, Rich didn't tell me about this. What the hell? I texted him. I'm like, you want a what?
He found out. He just found out at the same time.
I was like, I didn't believe it at first.
That's crazy. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, that was your reaction. You were like, I still don't know how to process this. Like,
and it takes a while for the Juno to actually show up at your place. And I remember coming home from a rehearsal, and there was a box on my doorstep. And it was a beautiful box. You open up this thing, and there's like a nice cloth, and it's all like,
nice.
It's beautiful. And then you go and you pick up the award, and it's like, slam. It's gorgeous. We did, after we all got the award in the mail, we did a gig shortly after that, and Jeremy said, I want everyone to bring their Juno Award. So we have this picture with the 3 of us holding the awards, and I look at that picture and I go, I can't believe life is this good.
Wow, it's
what a moment, though.
Yeah, it's
it really
overdue,
is.
though, honestly, like
Would you count that as like maybe if there's another like all-time best moments on stage? Like what would you rank that up as? Is there a moment that you would kind of come to mind where you go, wow? Well, it sounds like that might be it, but if there's another one, we'd love to hear it.
Man, I got to tell you, like in the last 4 or 5 years, there have been so many of those moments, like absolutely surreal moments, where I just feel like I'm so incredibly blessed. Like, yeah, but I mean, having that Juno Award and looking at it on my table every day, it's like, yeah, that's definitely one of the best moments for sure.
Yeah, it's really cool and
well deserved.
And well deserved.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm going to toot your horn again here for a second. You deserve a ton of credit, and I don't think he gets enough credit as a Canadian, because a lot of guys of your talent level take off to the States and they go all the time and they always leave Canada. And I remember talking to him a long time ago, and he was talking about New York, and you got offered the Letterman gig at one point or something. There was some.
Yeah, no, there's this really fantastic drummer in Los Angeles. She's teaching at Berkeley now. Her name is Terry Lynn Carrington. She played with like Herbie Hancock. She was on the Arsenio Hall show. Like,
right. She
was the drummer. She's amazing. And I did this residency in Los Angeles back in 2002. where we played this one club in Hollywood every night for a month. So Terry Lynn, all these other heavy musicians started showing up, but Terry Lynn started showing up like on a regular basis. And one night she pulled me aside and she goes, the regular bass player on the Jay Leno show is getting canned, and I'm putting your name in the hat. So,
wow, right? But see, with like at his talent level, like you never left. You stayed in Toronto, and I remember you saying, because I asked you, I said, "Are you going to go to the States or whatever?" And you're going, "No, man, I'm Canadian. I love it here. I love Toronto. I'm not going anywhere." And so, like you could have gone down there, and you arguably maybe would have a bigger name in terms of the industry. But you've stayed here, and that's why I'm saying I have a bit of a bug in my ass that you never got a Juno until now. Because it's like, if more musicians stayed here and worked on our scene instead of going down there, which is easier, I would never make fun of or bug any musician for what they have to do with their career. It's hard making a living as a musician.
Absolutely.
And they do what they have to do. This is not coming from a place of judgment. It's more of a wishful, utopian.
Sure.
If all of Canadian heavies stayed here, we could have that scene here without everyone having to leave.
Yeah.
And to your credit, you've always stayed, whether it's for the good of your career or not, you've stayed in Canada, and you deserve every accolade for that.
I appreciate that.
There's my 2 cents. Yeah.
But I love this country and I love this city, and I can't imagine living anywhere else. And I know if I would have made the move to the States years ago, I don't know, maybe I would be a household name by now. But I also know for a fact that I would be miserable because there's no part of me that wants to live in that country. Like, I've done it. I didn't like it. And I came back to what clearly feels like home.
Yep.
And why would I leave that? I really love this country. Like,
it's a great country.
Wow.
And again, you've traveled a ton through gigging, and he's traveled a ton. I've traveled a bunch. It's like the more I travel, the more you go, wow, Canadians really don't know what we have here. We're the most complacent bunch, and the complaining and stuff about this country. This is the greatest country that I've ever been to. It's a beautiful place, so nice, so free, so all that stuff. All that stuff everyone talks about their country. I know everyone's proud of their own country, but Canada's a great place to be, period.
I do feel like it's the greatest country in the world. And we're so low-key about that, and I kind of like that.
I like that too, yeah. I know, it's like people don't really know, and I kind of like, shh.
Yeah.
Don't let it get out. Shh. It's nice, right?
Now, you mentioned maybe a household name earlier there, but maybe you kind of are, because you've got your own YouTube channel now. And that is, it's built a strong following, and you're teaching people how to play bass. Expand on that.
That's been super great. So again, that's one of those things that started during the pandemic. I didn't know if or when I would work again. So my brother, he's got a very successful YouTube channel. And I thought, well, maybe I've got something to offer as well. So I just started putting lessons up online.
Give us the name. What's the name of your channel?
The name of the channel is the Brownstone.
Ding dong.
The Brownstone.
I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of days ago. There's this guy who comments on my videos every once in a while, just to say that every time that doorbell goes off in the theme, his dog goes crazy.
Oh, really?
Dog bark at the door. Yeah. That's hilarious.
It's a great channel though, and you're such a natural teacher. Like it's cool because I know we've talked about it before, but like any kind of really heavy musicians, they're kind of introverts, right? So it's like, and everyone expects musicians because you're on stage to be really extroverted. And I think most people put it on very well, and you do that because I know you're an introverted dude.
Totally.
But there's no sign of that on your teaching. It's just so, you look like you're really enjoying that, which is cool.
I like the aspect, like there's one part of teaching that I really enjoy, and that's watching the student in front of me have those light bulb moments.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I get this. And it's like they've just reached another level in their own musicianship. So I'm kind of imagining someone sitting across from me and having those light bulb moments as I talk about whatever, pentatonic scales or whatever.
You get another karmic quarter in your wallet. Right? Yeah.
So I do feel an enthusiasm for putting these videos out into the world because the feedback has been very positive. And people make no bones about the fact that these lessons are helping them in their development. And I love that. That just gives me more incentive to do more.
Like, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, man, thanks.
Not for bass.
I've watched a couple, and I don't even play bass. I've watched a few.
Yeah, they're great.
There's a friend of mine, a really great piano player in the city. He came up to me and he said that he was just casually like practicing, and then his wife came downstairs and tapped him on the shoulder, and she's like, "I think I can play bass now." He's like, "Yeah, she's been watching your videos." Like,
That's a testament to your talents there as a teacher. That's great.
so cool.
I do want to. We mentioned Kim Mitchell in your bio there. What's the connection there with Kim Mitchell?
I love Kim Mitchell. He's just one of the sweetest human beings on earth.
My hero, one of my big heroes.
For sure.
I love
He's
Kim,
a fantastic guy. So we met years ago. I was doing this regular gig every Saturday night at a place called the College Street Bar. And one night, his drummer, Chris Sutherland, another fantastic guy, he comes up to me after a set and he's like, "Man, Kim is going to love you. I need to bring Kim out to see this band because you, in particular, he's going to love." And I was like, "Yeah, that's nice. That's not going to happen, but that's nice." And the following week, like, I have my amp and my bass is over my shoulder and I'm walking to the club and Kim Mitchell is holding the door open for me. And as I'm walking in, I'm like, "Thanks, Kim Mitchell." And he goes, "We're here to see you." And he points right at me.
Oh, God.
And I just remember walking through the door and my head kind of sank. I was like, "Kim Mitchell's here to see me. You better
Show up. Yeah.
Game tonight. Yeah.
Come on, fingers.
And we totally hit it off from then. And he's been a great friend over the years. And
you've collaborated.
yeah, we did. I've done 2 recording sessions with Kim. The first was for an album that I don't think was ever released. And then I went and did some more tracks for him that are on his latest album.
Okay.
But yeah, I love that guy. And, we're always looking for an opportunity to hang. Like, there was one night where we just went out to an Indian restaurant and just like...
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's such a great guy.
Next time, just shoot me a text, right? Now, did you ever tell him that you were in a Max Webster tribute thing? Like, that would
Oh my gosh.
really weird for him.
You know what? I totally forgot that we were covering Max
Yeah,
Webster.
we covered a bunch of Max.
gotta let
I
him
feel
know.
like I should text him like right after this interview and be like, "Kim, by the way."
Yeah, by the way, dude, yeah. Oh, they were great, man. Max Webster, I feel like, is the band that got hosed the most in Canadian rock history. They were so heavy and so good, and Kim deserves so much more. He's such a great guitar player.
Yeah, absolutely.
He should be mentioned in there with all the greats in Canadian.
Sure.
Like, he's right there with Rick Emmett and Alex. And
Oh, man.
all the rock icon guys. Kim's just that good. He's so good, and what a great writer too.
Yeah, his songs are
And
fantastic.
how Max never got further just blows my mind. Like, it's
Great band.
such a shame. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's
In regards to, just to touch back onto the teachings and young bass players and learning and stuff like that, what advice would you give to young bass players trying to find their own sound? Like, what would you tell them?
You gotta embrace the struggle.
Right.
It's gonna suck sometimes, but that's a good thing. Like, don't give up because it's hard, and don't get intimidated by the stuff that you see on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Because you got to understand, like when you see those videos of these guys who are shredding over some tune and it makes you feel bad, you got to understand that that's like the 50th take that these guys have done.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know?
That's not how they sound every time. Yeah.
That's not how they sound ever. Usually, like, if you ever watch one of these videos, this is what I like to do. I'll see one of these videos and then I'll just try to find like a live recording of them just doing their thing on stage. 9 out of 10 times, they don't sound like that.
Yeah.
When it's just them improvising and like they got to do it on the spot, it's a different thing.
A lot of it's composed too.
A lot of it's composed.
Every single note is written.
Yeah.
And it's performed and practiced. And like, I don't play like that. I'm too lazy to learn all that. Oh my God. Like, yeah, I don't get that kind of mindset. Like,
Yeah,
I don't really know why you would do that really either. It kind of makes no sense to me unless you're doing like a piece, like with an orchestra or something like that. Like I could never write some of the funny stuff, like some of the ideas that just come from the ether, just come through, and all of a sudden it's like, man, I would have never written that. Like,
but I think that's the process that young musicians need to believe in, and don't get discouraged.
Yeah. Embrace the struggle.
Embrace the struggle, because it is going to suck sometimes.
You're not comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, be comfortable with sounding bad for a little bit, because it's not always going to sound bad.
Yeah.
Right.
It just takes a bit of work.
Sound advice. Well, listen. Thank you very, very much for coming on to the show. This has been
Beyond fun. Yeah.
This has been fantastic. What great insight in sharing
Thank you.
all the things that are Rich Brown. Honestly, your accomplishments are unbelievable. Like, it's just really interesting.
I feel like I'm just so blessed. When you were reading all the stuff in the bio, I was like, holy smoke. That's really,
I know.
I've been given some amazing opportunities, and I am not.
You took them though.
Well,
took them.
I feel like I'll say this: like I totally put in my 10,000 hours.
You've earned it.
sure.
You've earned
Sure.
it. Like I know the work you've done.
Yeah, I mean,
You've earned it, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you've really worked it. So
But I don't take any of that for granted, and I'm just so grateful for all of that stuff. And I always tell my students that I hope one day they have the same feeling that I have with all of these opportunities that I've been given, because they're going to understand one day what the struggle is for.
Right.
And this is it. It's the knowledge of your peers giving you the props for all of the prep work that you've done leading up to the present moment,
Right.
So it's a validation. Yeah, and I'm just so grateful for all of it.
Well, we're grateful for having you on the show. And I'd just like to say thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you, Gary.
All right.
very fun.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Nice job, Gare.
We are going to wrap it up here for today as another episode of The Riff. Jeremy, what's coming up? What's going on? What's happening in the city? Do you have anything?
Well, tonight there is what's that? John Candy, I Like Me thing. If you heard about this,
Okay.
It's Ryan Reynolds or whatever.
I have heard, but yeah, he's
He's I think Ryan Reynolds produced it, and so he's sort of showcasing that at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre tonight. So Jeremy and I are actually going to go check it out.
nice.
A couple
Very
friends,
cool.
and apparently some guests might show up. I'm hoping Eugene Levy, Dan Aykroyd. So yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, it's a biography of
Sounds
John
like Tracy's got a crush on Gene Levy.
A little bit.
Candy. No, it's Dan Levy. She
I
has.
do love Dan Levy.
Who doesn't love Dan Levy?
He seems like the best dude on the planet.
All right. That's it. We're going to wrap it up there. And that's another episode of The Riff. So thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. And that's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from him.